Well, alright, what is up, my most amazing Media Man fans? This is the Media Man. Hope you guys are having a great week. Hope you had a good E3 if you're watching it on TV, on your computer, or you got to go. Actually, I think that's this week when they open the doors for the public to play the demos and all that good stuff. But, I hope you found something you liked. Tonight we're going to talk about Nintendo, the one I really was looking forward to. I've mentioned over and over again what a big Switch fan I am, what a huge Nintendo fan I am. I love all the consoles. I've said that before, so I won't get into any fanboy wars with anybody, but I've been playing Nintendo for a lot longer, and I love their characters and etc. But yeah, so let's get going. Let's get started with this, because there's a few games to cover and a few things I want to talk about, and then we'll wrap it up early. So the first game they showed was Xenoblade 2, and man, did it look incredible. I mean, they started off with a bang. For those who don't know what it is, for whatever reason, maybe you're living under a rock, or you're just you're new to this Nintendo thing or whatever it is. There was a game released back on the Wii that was called Xenoblade, and then they had Xenoblade Chronicles on the new 3DS. It was the only action RPG style game, or any game really, that took advantage of the new 3DS hardware. Like, it was the only game that you could only play on the new 3DS, which I thought was kind of cool for someone who invested in the new 3DS. Though I'm still thrilled to have it, despite the fact that it just plays the same games. I like the extra little thumbstick and all that extra stuff. But it looked great. It was a fantastic game. It played really well. And Xenoblade 2 is, of course, the sequel. I believe it's a sequel. But either way, it's the second one. It doesn't say prequel. So, looked great. It's a little more cartoony than the other ones, but which was fine with me, because I thought the character design looked great. And the world was huge. I mean, if anybody thinks that the Switch is lacking in horsepower, obviously check out Zelda and Mario Kart and this game. It just looks absolutely phenomenal. So really jazzed about that. Really looking forward to this incredible RPG. The other thing I want to talk about, just because I'm so excited about it, that I just have to let it out. They did come out and say that they are going to make a core Pokemon game, which many of you probably already know. I'm sure you've heard it all over the net by now. But the fact that Game Freak is working on a core Pokemon RPG, we've been hearing about Stars. I think it's going to be something similar. I wouldn't mind a new Pokemon game for the Switch, but as long as it's more similar to the ones we get on the 3DS, as opposed to some like Colosseum or something like that, which I wasn't a huge fan of. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. So we're going to have 2 Pokemon games on the Switch. It is going to be it's going to be more than a year. They did announce it'll be more than a year before that Pokemon game comes on, but hopefully we'll get more information, way before that. So that was pretty cool. Now the other surprise, well, there were a few of them, but one of the other bigger surprises was Metroid. Yes, Metroid Prime 4 is coming. They've officially announced it. They didn't show any gameplay or anything like that, but they showed enough to say, yes, this exists. Yes, they're working on it. It's another company. It's not Retro, which, kind of a bummer, but apparently the person who worked on the original Metroid Prime is going to be helping them. So that gives me a little bit more peace about it. So that was really cool. And not only did they announce one Metroid, they announced 2. There is going to be a 2D one, and it's basically the old Metroid Prime, the first one, but reimagined. So, and it looks great. Super excited about that one as well. So 2 Metroid games. In fact, that one is coming out first, I believe, and it's coming out on the 3DS. So they're still showing a lot of 3DS love, which I thought, again, was fantastic. They showed that one, and before I could kind of get over that whole thing, I mean, we already got Xenoblade 2, and then they said, hey, Pokemon is going to be on the Switch. Game Freak is going to bring out Pokemon, which I can't tell you, over the moon. I'm playing Sun again. on my 3DS and trying to do things a little bit different, collect different Pokemon, and you know, um, trying not to miss any of them this time. I have a mission to collect all of them. So we know we're getting, you know, another Pokemon, or two Pokemon on the Switch, and then of course two Pokemon, which they announced before E3, but on the 3DS as well, which is basically Pokemon Moon and Sun Ultra. So whatever that means, I guess a new story, new monsters. I guess I'm down. I'll have to see a little bit more about it. But they're really kind of throwing stuff out. So we got all that, and then they announced another Yoshi game, and it looks like Yoshi's... I forgot what it was called, but basically like Kirby's Epic Yarn, but with Yoshi. And you had 4 players. They showed a lot of multiplayer stuff, which looked great. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. And after the Yoshi game, they showed the Fire Emblem characters, which is cool. I was, you know, I kind of knew what it was before they really announced it. You know, it was more of an action-y kind of things, and it is Fire Emblem Warriors, which is basically Dynasty Warriors meets Fire Emblem, which I'm fine with because I'm enjoying the crap out of Dragon Quest Warriors. And I liked Zelda Hyrule Warriors, so I like the Nintendo Dynasty Warriors kind of cross stuff. And Fire Emblem has a lot of really cool characters, and it looks like they're really working on the story as well. So we'll get a good story. So that looked really great. Pretty jazzed. I mean, they just kind of pile on. Everything that they showed looked great. They didn't have as many games, but they didn't really put a lot of filler, which is what I really like about Nintendo stuff. Especially with the Switch, they're really working hard. And they did say this is stuff that, you know, we're going to announce more stuff later. So this is just what they're announcing right now. And hopefully coming sooner than later. A lot of 2017 stuff, which is great. Once they announced the Fire Emblem Warriors, they then talked about Breath of the Wild DLC. And it looks pretty cool. There's an adventure mode, or like a kind of what I call a ladder mode, where you start off pretty much just in shorts and you try and get more equipment as you keep going, almost like a survival mode. And there's another Guardians mode, which I didn't quite get, but it looked really cool. And then there's 4 amiibos they're coming out with that are based on these Guardians, which are Gorons and just all kinds of different characters. I'll try to post a video to it, a link to the video so you can see what these are. But it looked really cool, so I was really jazzed about that. I'm glad that they're still, you know, supporting Zelda. I love Zelda, and who knows when we'll get another Zelda on Switch. You know, one can hope that I would love it if they remake the old Zeldas on the Switch. That wasn't announced, that's just me saying. Because one of the cool things that I love about Nintendo is they don't just announce everything at E3 at once. You know, okay, here's what we have right now. This is the stuff we know is going to happen. We have some other stuff in the pipeline we're not going to talk about yet. And then they'll do their Nintendo Direct or their Treehouse or whatever they call it. And announce, you know, focus on 1 or 2 titles. So we'll get more stuff. They even said they're going to give us more stuff throughout the year. And then, of course, the coming year, 2018 as well. So Switch is just looking better and better every day. We already knew about Skyrim. It wasn't announced, I believe it wasn't announced in the Nintendo one, because we already know about it. They've already announced it. It's going to happen. It looks great. Super jazzed about bringing Skyrim with me. But the other game that was actually kind of a surprise was Rocket League. And actually, I don't know why it's a surprise, because it works. It's made for the Switch. I mean, the multiplayer on Rocket League is so much fun. If you haven't played it, check it out. I think it's a $20 game or something like that. So definitely worth it on every console and PC, and now it's going to be on Switch. It's coming out in 2017. I don't know what month, but it looked great. So the other game that they showed, the last one that they really focused on, was Super Mario Odyssey. And let me tell you guys, I was excited about it before. But when I saw the trailer on all the new things you could do, excuse me, it took it to a whole nother level. So, I mean, it looks even better than I thought it would be. I mean, I thought it was going to be amazing. It's definitely one of the ones I'm looking for, and it's coming pretty soon. Only I believe October they said. I'll give you a definite release date, but I believe they said it's October or something like that. So it's not too far away. And you throw your hat, and whatever it lands on, I think there's only certain things you can't like do it for everything, but you become that. Like if you throw it on a person, you control that person. If you throw it on, they showed a T-Rex where he threw it on a T-Rex, and you all of a sudden control that T-Rex. It looked great. Of course, the graphics were just insane. Another, hey, look what Switch can do. Look what Nintendo can do with the Switch. I am super, super excited about the stuff that Nintendo announced. I mean, everything I told you is pretty much was a handful of games. And that's not including other stuff they've announced before, but just the handful of games that they announced at E3, they all just looked so incredible and fun, and of course we do also know about Mario plus Rabbids, that new kind of like a strategy RPG. It looks like a lot of fun. I forgot to write it down for some reason. I think because I saw it at the Ubisoft conference. They started off with that, so you knew a lot about it by the time you were done. And that one's coming out really soon. So it looked great. The whole conference, I think, looked great. I honestly, between all of them, I think I enjoyed Nintendo's the most. But we'll talk about that in my wrap-up tomorrow when I do another video. Because there was so much stuff, I need to get some more notes and compare everything and kind of give you a final what I thought. And it's not personal. I'm talking about just E3. I'm not saying that if Nintendo wins that it's better than the PS4 or it's better than the Xbox One. I don't play that game. It's silliness to me. But I will tell you who I thought came out ahead at E3. Because I did kind of relook at Sony's and Microsoft's. I felt like I had to rewatch Microsoft's because I didn't give them a fair shake because I was tired. I'd gotten no sleep when I watched their conference. It was the first one, and it went really long, so I was kind of grumpy by the time I was done. So, but anyway, yeah, that's pretty much, like I said, it is a shorter video, but super, super impressed with Nintendo's E3. Possibly my favorite. I will have to go over kind of my notes, watch them again, because I do want to be fair, but holy cow, anybody that says the Nintendo conference wasn't good, it's the best conference they've had in many, many years, because usually they just show up later and say, hey, we're going to have a Nintendo Treehouse, here's 2 games. Congratulations, that's about it. And they just announced, it was everything that I had hoped for and more. So great job, Nintendo. Thank you so much, and just absolute jazz. If you don't have a Switch now, go pick one up, because I'm telling you, they are supporting this like crazy. Now, I do want to talk real quick before I wrap this up about some of the disappointments. None of the conferences were perfect, and Nintendo had its, I don't want to say its flaws, but stuff that I was expecting and hoping for. And number one, they didn't talk much about the online, which is, fine, whatever, but this is a multiplayer system. It really is. And, well, I mean, it's great single-player stuff, too, but it's really made for a lot of multiplayer stuff, and they're really pushing multiplayer with Splatoon and Pokken Tournament and the other ones that they're actually having tournaments for, but we know nothing about their online, which is coming, except it's coming 2018, and it's going to be free until then, but we don't even know when they're going to launch. If it's going to be free until 2018, then I'm assuming we'll get it a little bit before that, I would assume. So that was kind of a little bit of a disappointment. The other thing that I was disappointed at is their eShop, or actually Virtual Console. They already have an eShop. The only system that doesn't have one, and I know it hasn't been out that long, really, so we do need to give it more time, and they've been doing great with the Neo Geo stuff. But I like Neo Geo, but there's only so many old school fighting games I can handle. Metal Slug is amazing. I've always loved that series, so yay on that. But I want to see some of Nintendo's franchises. I want to see, because they didn't even announce NES stuff. They didn't announce anything when it came to Virtual Console, and that was a disappointment to me, big time. I thought that they could have done that better. Um, but other than that, fantastic conference. Again, excellent job, Nintendo. But maybe you could do a treehouse and announce some virtual console stuff. But in all honesty, I can complain about it all I want. But if you've seen the release schedule for all the stuff that's coming out, even just this week or the next couple weeks, it's pretty exciting. I mean, we got ARMS coming on Thursday. They just released Cards, which actually looks pretty good. I mean, I know it's a multi-platform one, but I get most of my multi-platform stuff on Switch because I can take it with me. When I do a lot of traveling for different things for this channel and stuff like that. So, and I'll be doing a lot this year. So it's great to have it on the handheld. They did announce that the Cave Story's coming. For $30 you can get a physical copy with I guess a keychain or something like that. And of course ARMS, and just a bunch of stuff. And they're constantly announcing new stuff, surprises like indie games and different things like that. So. I'm really jazzed. I'm really happy with the Switch. They're just really coming out strong. Unlike when the Wii U came out, we got a handful of games and nobody knew what it was. They're really making a statement with this console. So well done, Nintendo. Great E3, fantastic console. Absolutely love it. I'm in E3 heaven. So I hope you guys had a good one. I hope you guys are all healthy. I'm battling a cold, so I apologize for a couple times that I did cough. And we'll see you in the next video. I love you guys. Look for the next MediaRant in the next day or so, where I just kind of wrap up my E3 thoughts. So if you like what I have to say, comment below. Even if you don't, let's have a conversation. And please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. This channel is growing super fast, and at 5,000 I want to do something special for all my MediaMan fans. Maybe I'll do some kind of giveaway or something, but we'll work on that when we get there, but we're getting closer every day. So, love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you later. Bye.